the 30th day of March 2022. You welcome to Kana Radio News at 6. I am Deliverance Ashebi and I'm here with
Ahiano bless everyone.
In our news headlines, Professor Emmanuel Asante says it's wrong to say free SHS review means cancellation.
Agenda 111 Hospitals project would be completed by June 2024.
The National Association of Graduate Teachers, NAGRAT, hoping for 15% salary increment in State of the Nation address today.
The poor have been taking
many more stories we have for you if you stay with us in the next 30 minutes. Now, into our stories. Reverend Professor Emmanuel Asante had said it is wrong to anyone to interpret any proposed review of the free senior high school program as a cancellation of the intervention. In his view, any review, however, must rope in stakeholders across the political issue. For instance, let us talk about the free education thing that sometimes I hear people talk about. What is going to happen if all of a sudden, in the middle of this program, which is helping a lot of people who is normally wouldn't have had the opportunity to have secondary education, you stop it? What are you going to do to those people? The former chairman of the National Peace Council said in an interview with Kofi Opon Asamo on the Class FM Morning Show on Wednesday, March 30th, 2022. On the other hand, Reverend Asante said, you can look at the program and said, I'm reviewing it in this sense. I think some time ago when the things was going to be implemented, one prominent personality did say that we do it in such a way that those who have the means would make a contribution. Is it possible to review the program looking at the way, or do we simply throw it off that? No, it is not necessary, he said. Because when some people really need that help, there are some other people who may be able to pay for their children's school fees and all sorts of that, the professor said. So if I talk about review wouldn't mean cancel it, but looking at the critical, and this is something that will call for multi-party decision, bringing in different groups, he noted. Into our next story, where ahead of the State of the Nation address today, the National Association of Graduate Teachers, NAGRAT, has said it is hoping for a salary increase announcement from the president. Speaking to City News, the president of NAGRAT, Angel Kabunu, explained that considering the economic and social worsening economic condition, some cushion was in order. Recognizing that the economy is in dire straits and the hardest hit are public sector workers. So, I'm expecting the president to acknowledge that fact and make the concession to the workers of this country. I'm expecting a grand principle to announce that as we move forward, the president will give some COLA of 15% to workers to mitigate their financial situation. I'm expecting that strongly, Mr. Kabunu said. President Nana Addo Dankwa Akufo-Addo State of the Nation address will come as the country contends with rising inflation, cost of fuel and general cost of living. Diesel is currently selling between 10 Ghanaian cedis and 11 Ghanaian cedis per litre, where the price of petrol has crossed 9 Ghanaian cedis mark. The year-on-year producer price inflation for all industries for the first month of 2022 rose to 15.6%, up from 14.7% recorded in December 2021. The Fair Wages and Salary Commission have indicated that there would be a review of the salary structure. Into our last news, Pressure Group Economic Fighters League has raised concern about the approval of the e-levy by Parliament. They believe the approval indicates Parliament is not working for the people. Parliament passed the e-levy on Tuesday, March 29, 2022, after the minority had walked out of the Parliament. But the fighters in the statement said Ghanaians have been explicit in a rejection of the e-levy since it was first introduced in the 2022 budget reading. Since then, we have watched the people who are supposed to present Represent as dance around the issue, trivializing the state of Ghana livelihood as they made e-levy cakes and jump in and out of the chambers while discussing reducing a levy that the people have consistently said no to. It should not have to be stated that Ghanaians are already facing extreme hardship with the skyrocketing prices of basic commodities, in large part due to the recent changes in tax structures such as the VAT and the astronomical rising prices of fuel. To pass the e-levy in this climate is simply wickedness, a wickedness that the Ghanaian people will not forget. Up next is political news.
Don't touch that dial. Keep it locked.
Politics. The Akufo-Addo government is expected to complete the construction of hospitals under the ambitious Agenda 111 project by June 2024. The presidential advisor on health, Anthony Insia Asari, made this known on City TV's face-to-face show. He said the processes for the construction of some of the hospitals have already begun. The Agenda 111 project is part of a grand vision for Ghanaia's healthcare sector by the Akufo-Addo administration. The project will ensure that 101 outstanding districts will be provided with hospitals in addition to 10 selected regional and specialized hospitals. The government has already set aside an amount of $100 million as commencement funding for the project. Each of the hospitals will cost $16.88 million, with $12.88 million being used for the construction of the hospitals and $4 million for medical equipment. Away from that story, Gabi Ochre Darko, an NPP stalwart, has congratulated President Akufo-Addo on the approval of the e-levy. In a tweet today, he said it was not a bad way for the president to celebrate his 78th birthday, which coincided with the passage of the controversial levy. The minority in parliament on Tuesday, March 29, 2022, staged a walkout from parliament as the majority passed the controversial electronic transaction levy, e-levy. In a surprise turn of events in the House today, the finance minister stormed parliament and moved for consideration of the levy. After several discussions, where minority and majority MPs made various arguments, Speaker Alban Babgen called for a 30-minute recess for members of the House to go through a report of the Finance Committee. After resuming sitting, Minority Leader Haruna Idrisu emphasized that his group does not want to have anything to do with the e-levy. Into our last political news. The poor have been exempted from paying e-levy due to the less than 100 threshold Ghanaian cedis. Information Minister Kojo Oppong Nkrumah has said. He also denied claims that the e-levy will kill the mobile money industry. He noted that this same argument was made when the Communication Service Tax (CST) was introduced to the effect that it was going to erode gains in the telecom industry. Speaking on the floor of Parliament on Tuesday, March 29th, the Ofiaso Ayeribe lawmaker said, contrary to the fears, the telecom industry has grown even with the tax. Coming up is business news.
Corner Radio.
Let's do some business here on Ghana News at 6. Momo Agent Association won over e-levy passage. We may withdraw our services. It's no more lucrative. The Mobile Money Agents Association of Ghana says most of its members may shut down their mobile money services following the passage of the 1.5 for electronic transaction levy. They noted that the business is no more lucrative. We may be tempted to withdraw our services because the service already is not all that lucrative. The General Secretary of the Association, Evans Otunfor, said in a City News interview, a lot of our people would definitely be out of business. When the policy was announced, there was a sharp decline and drop in the use of mobile money, he added. The levy, which was amended from 1.75% to 1.5% today, that is Tuesday, March 29, 2021, will be a tax on electronic transactions, which includes mobile money payments. The charge will apply to electronic transactions that are more than 100 Ghana cedis on a daily basis. Critics of the proposal have warned that this new levy would negatively impact the fintech space as well as hurt low-income people and those outside the formal banking sector. The government has, however, argued the levy would widen the tax net and that could raise an extra 6.9 billion in 2022. Parliament passed it in the absence of the minority members of Parliament who had walked out before the bill was seriously considered. The minority had complained that it had been blindsided by the unexpected laying of the controversial task. It subsequently said it would challenge the passage of the e-levy at the Supreme Court. Speaking at a press conference on Tuesday, the minority leader Haruna Iddrisu said the passage was unconstitutional as Parliament did not have the required numbers to make a decision on the e-levy. I think they have to cap again on e-levy because as of today, I don't think they had the numbers to say that e-levy has been passed. We will question this decision in the Supreme Court on the basis of the earlier ruling and on the basis of the fact that they said we can't take a decision with 137 members, but they can take with 137 members, he said. Up next is health news.
Corner Radio.
In health, Director of the African Centers of Disease Control and Prevention, Africa CDC, Dr. John, has opined that understanding the emergence of the novel coronavirus disease outweighs pointing out its origin. According to him, the origin of the pandemic is irrelevant because it is more important to channel effort into making sense of how it emerged and adopting preventive and eradication measures. He made this known during the 2022 Agri-Fraser Gagensberg Memorial Lectures and Special Congregation at the University of Ghana. His comments came in the backdrop of former U.S. President Donald Trump's claims labeling the World Health Organization a puppet of China in 2020. Away from that story, members of Parliament from the sub-regional bloc, the West African Health Organization (WAHO), are meeting in Ghana's capital of Accra to discuss ways to mitigate the devastating impact of malaria in the region and to fashion out strategies to roll out more programs that will lead to its control. The meeting comes at a crucial time, especially because of the COVID-19 pandemic, which has plugged many African economies. The Regional Parliamentarian Network for the Elimination of Malaria has the membership of the network drawn from MPs from the ECOWAS member states with interest and willingness to champion and serve as advocates for malaria control and elimination in
lost. Nigerians attack Buhari. Sister Ifya cries out about the poor treatment of female artists in the industry. Davido, Burna Boy, Wizkid We Are Sorry, Shatawale begs Niger Stars after defeat to Ghana. The stories in detail. Nigerians have decided to blame their president, Muhammad Buhari, for losing the match against Ghana in the second leg. They accuse the government of bringing bad luck to the Super Eagles over the country's failure to make it to the 2020 World Cup of Nations. Moving away from that story, Artist Sister Ifya born Francisca Gawuga has complained bitterly about how women are treated in the music industry in Ghana. To her, the women who make up the industry have over the years not been treated well, and there is need for things to change. Sister Ifya made this known in the connection to how women and their hard work are not appreciated, especially during award ceremonies. She felt there is a need for something to be done about it, considering the fact that women play their part in the industry. Moving into our last story. In a video the Ghanaian dancehall artist shared on the viral Instagram platform, he was seen eating a Nigerian meal whilst making certain gadgets designed to rub salt into their injuries. He then mentioned Davido, Burna Boy and Wizkid names and apologized to them, saying they hold the key to the Grammy, so regardless of whatever the setback the Black Stars gave them, they should still go ahead and teach them how to win a Grammy too.
And this brought us to the end of today's news at 6. But then, a recap of our top stories.
Professor Emmanuel Asante says it's wrong to say free SHS review means cancellation.
The poor have been taken out of e-levy by the Information Minister.
The National Association of Graduate Teachers hoping for 15% salary increment to State of the Nation address today.
Agenda 111 Hospitals project will be completed by June 2024. You can follow us on Facebook as Kana Radio and also subscribe to our YouTube channel as Kana TV. I am Anyanyo Bless Ariam. I was here with my colleagues
Deliverance Ashebi.
Inu Sarahina too.
Coming up is Kana Bash. Stay tuned to Kana Radio.